The fridge door mystery is probably one of the most famous mysteries in the Star Stable community. Since the day I started this YouTube channel, and even before that, I have wanted to solve it so badly. Unfortunately, I eventually had to face defeat. This mystery is just too hard for me to solve on my own. So instead, I decided to share all the little things that I've noticed and thought so that maybe we can solve it together. So, in case you haven't heard about the fridge doors, here's some basic information for you. In the current world of Jorvik, there are 4 strangely placed doors in the ground which light up at night and make creepy noises when you get close to them. We call them fridge doors because they kinda look like giant fridges in the ground, but they most likely are some sort of bunkers or underground tunnels. The doors have been there since the launch of the game way back in 2011, and it has some sort of story relevance. I did actually mail them and ask, cause, it's always worth a shot, in which they replied that they are there for a reason and that they suggest I keep doing the quests. Which basically translates to, they will be important in the future. So naturally, there have been a lot of theories throughout the years about these mysterious doors in the ground. The most famous by far is Northena's theory that the doors make out a star formation on the map, which means that we are missing one door. I feel like that theory pretty much has become common knowledge by now, and that is because, well, it seems pretty obvious now that it's out there. I mean, there's literally a star symbol on the door that tells you where it's located, and it aligns perfectly with the other doors. So yeah, Northena knew what she was talking about. But I've always wondered, what is the purpose of these doors? Why do they light up at night? What is going on down there, and when will we figure it out? And in order to figure this out, one of the first questions I asked myself was, what does that other symbol mean? It looks the exact same on all the doors, and you have no idea how many hours I've spent just staring at that symbol and waiting for answers. So one of the first things I noticed about the symbol probably doesn't mean anything, but here it goes anyway. I noticed that if you look closely, it could spell out GED. Of course, I didn't think much of this, but because I didn't have anything else to go on, I decided to check it out anyway, just in case. And there was actually one random thing that I did find interesting. GED's logo is a large G that has dark blue on the outside and yellow on the inside. And the yellow is kind of erupting from the inside of the G. Does that even make sense? I don't know, that kinda reminds me of the fridge doors at night, with the yellow light erupting from the window. I know that's probably a weird connection to make, and it most likely is just a coincidence, but like I said, I wanted to include it just in case. The soundtrack that plays at the fridge doors is for the most part associated with dark horror though, so the only other thing that I can think of that connects GED to the fridge door mystery is that GED and dark horror has been seen cooperating. But okay, back to the symbol. I did notice something else and probably more significant about it, and that is how the square is more defined than the rest of the symbol. It almost looks like there are 2 separate symbols on top of each other. But what is it? Is it supposed to be like a door in front of a portal or what? I seriously can't make it out. I did have a thought that maybe the circle part is our character's special Soul Rider seal, but it doesn't really look like one, so I've gone completely blank to be honest. Given that the star symbol had such a straightforward explanation, I'm kind of starting to think that this other symbol just means something that hasn't been introduced to us yet. Like we actually don't have the pieces to possibly figure it out. Cause it can't be that complicated, right? Surely this symbol will appear in later quests or something. So let's move on from the symbol and talk about some other interesting things. When placing the star formation on the map, I noticed something. This inner corner is the exact coordinates of the UFO crash site. And in case you haven't noticed, it does have the same soundtrack as the fridge doors. I don't think there are many other occasions in the game where the soundtrack plays, so I'm really thinking that these things are connected, but I just can't figure out how. I think I've heard someone else theorize about this as well, but I think that was mostly based on the soundtrack and not the coordinates, so I do find that detail specifically interesting. Now, I did check out the other inner corners, but there was nothing else of interest, so I'm just getting increasingly confused by this whole thing. The only thing that pops into my head regarding this is that if they both have something to do with Darkor, then maybe someone in Darkor arrived in the UFO or something? I mean, they are supposedly from other dimensions, so I guess they are technically aliens and could arrive in a UFO? Is that a possibility? I don't even know. But okay, what about the last fridge door? Well, I've looked at a bunch of videos of people glitching into that area, and when they pass the location where the last door should be, we can't see the door, but there appears to be a giant cliff with a lake at the bottom. And I am well aware that this is probably not how it's gonna look when it's finished, but I do find it strange regardless. I mean, this is the location where the last fridge door should be, so why does it look like this? I'm thinking amongst the lines of like Garnock being trapped down there, or his tentacles reaching up from there, or something amongst those lines, because we know that he's trapped somewhere in the ocean. I'm just dying for someone to jump down there and investigate, while at the same time I don't want to encourage cheating, cause you could actually get banned. But then again, like I said, this area has yet to be released, so we have no way of knowing if this is actually anything of interest. What I am convinced of though is that we will not hear a word about this mystery until the last fridge door is available to us, which could potentially still be years from now. In the meantime, I'm gonna sleep with one eye open, cause I'm not gonna rest peacefully until we have some explanations. But anyway, hopefully some of you might be able to make some sense out of this mess, and if you have anything to add, then please leave it down in the comments, cause I am dying to get some insight here. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and of course, if you did, I'll see you around. Bye!